This is an MPGN production.
To movie reviews with AJ and Dave. I'm AJ.
I am Dave.
And Dave, I hope you're well prepared today for this review. We're talking The Batman. What did you think, buddy?
I thought it was a very good movie. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of DC movies. I haven't seen many of them. I've seen most of the Batman. But I did enjoy it. It did seem very similar to The Dark Knight, in my opinion. I heard that from a few people. But overall, it was a good movie. I'll definitely see it again. Probably in theaters again.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was very artsy. I thought Matt Reeves' direction of it and imagination of Gotham was very well done. There were some touches to like the Burton universe of Batman, especially with where he was staying. I thought it was very gothic, and there were some slight nods to the Dark Knight trilogy, which I really appreciated. But all in all, I mean, it was definitely a very long movie, but it was so worth it. I mean, the pacing felt good. I mean, there was always something happening, and this is probably the best version of Batman we've gotten to date because he's a detective. He's not taking on a world fucking threat or anything like that. You know what I mean? Where it's fucking apocalypse or whatever is coming. You know what I mean? Fucking
just fighting Superman.
Yeah, or just punching Superman with fucking kryptonite. You know what I mean? This is a legit psychopath is on the run, and Batman and Gordon are teamed up and working out the fucking clues and shit to try to capture him. So I thought it was really good. But let's talk a little bit about spoiler free-ish for a little bit. Because I don't know how long this episode's gonna be, because this ain't your mom's typical fucking review style podcast where we talk about a bunch of other stuff in the news, because guess what, I don't really have a lot for news. I don't really want to be another one of those kinds of podcasts either. I mean, I might introduce some news here and there about stuff that's happened, but we're just here to cut right to the fucking good stuff and talk about the Batman.
Shoot from the hip.
Shoot right from the hip. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know this, this movie takes place during Bruce Wayne's second year as Batman. He's still very much a novice, but he could still kick your ass.
Is there a time period?
It was supposed to, when I first read up about it, it was supposed to take place during the 90s, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, there was a lot of
smartphones, technology, his contact lenses were fucking recording devices. I was like, what the fuck?
Flash drives,
yeah. Yeah, it just kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, was this supposed to be in the 90s? Because the car is an old muscle car.
Yeah, it's like a Camaro or a Challenger.
Yeah, but then all the other cars are brand new cars, so I was like, okay, well, I guess this does take place in modern times. So I was like, okay, I could see that. Mm-hmm. But he's a two-year-old Batman at this point, working as Batman, I should say, just trying to figure out whether or not his effect on Gotham is working, or if he's making a difference. Plus, the police don't really know if they can trust him. The public doesn't know if they can trust him either, because he's a vigilante. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So he's building the mythos of being a fucking vengeful vigilante or whatever. You know what I mean?
What's the age do we think that he is right now?
I gotta assume he's got to be in his late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
So. But what did you think of Robert Pattinson's approach to Bruce Wayne and Batman in this?
Okay, so his Batman I thought was great. Robert Pattinson gets a lot of heat, typecasted for especially being in Harry Potter and what's that other movie? Twilight, the one he's most famous for. And I remember when the casting came out, everybody was like, "What? Robert Pattinson? That sparkly, dude."
He
When played
hated
the
he
vampires.
hated doing Twilight, but he did it for the money. So
Of course,
yeah.
he's a young actor at the time. You do what you got to do
He's
to
a
become
very
famous.
he's a very good independent movie actor. Like he's made a lot of great independent movies. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, which none of which I've ever heard or seen, but I'm sure. His Bruce Wayne, I thought was good. It's very dark, like you were mentioning before, a very dark take on everything. Like he kind of looked like his eyes were sunken in, or if it was just like eyeliner or whatever. Like
I think
he had very dark circles around his eyes, almost like like he
right.
hasn't seen light
Like he
in
hasn't slept
weeks.
in days. Yeah. Which
Which
is
is very fitting.
yeah, exactly. So, but Matt Reeves said that his approach to this Bruce Wayne was like Kurt Cobain, and I was like, huh? You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I guess I get it. You know what I mean? But like his Bruce Wayne doesn't know how to fit into modern society right now because he's just so broken still over the death of his parents. And thank God there wasn't another origin because like and Matt Reeves even said like this is not an origin story. I was like, thank God we've had enough. We know how Batman's parents die. We know why he becomes Batman. So
It's like the same thing with Spider-Man, like how the MCU Spider-Man didn't really do an origin story. Because we've already seen it a dozen times.
Exactly. So we all get it. But I mean, like his Bruce Wayne was a broken person. Like he didn't know how to fit in with society. Like I guess like the people, the lady that was running for mayor was trying to get a hold of him, and he kept dodging the calls. And like the accounting people wanted to talk to Bruce, and Alfred's like, "Come on, you got to like handle your company a little bit." He's like, I don't care.
Oh yeah, because I can't get you to go there. That's why they're coming here.
Yeah. He's like, I just don't care. Like, whatever. Yeah. So he's just very isolated as Bruce Wayne, which I'm hoping in the next few movies.
Sorry.
Is that a music box?
Yeah. It's a heirloom. Little dancing ballerina on top.
Okay. Anyway, that just totally broke my train of thought right there.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So like basically, I guess the lady running for mayor wanted his help, and and Alfred was like, yeah, accounting wants it, and he's just like, I don't care. But he's very isolated, doesn't give a shit. I really want to see, because he signed on for 2 more, I think. Him evolve more as Bruce Wayne, because by the end of the movie, which we'll get into, like he understands more how he needs to be. So
yeah, that was like, yeah, we're not getting into what actually happened there. Like that was like the only character development we saw through Bruce Wayne and Batman was at the very end, which was one of the things I felt like there's no real development of Batman through the movie until the very end.
yeah. What did you his relationship with like Gordon, the GCPD, and the public, obviously, like we touched on a little bit, but like Gordon's like his best friend in this movie. Like Gordon just like looks up to him, and he's just like helping him out, this, that, and the other, and sticking his neck out for him. Which we're supposed to see a prequel of the Gotham City Police Department for HBO Max. I don't know if it's still going to happen or not, but it's going to take place before, like, right around the beginning of when he became Batman. I don't know if we're going to see Robert Pattinson in it at all, but it's going to involve the GCPD.
Be similar to that TV show Gotham. Was it called Gotham?
God, I hope not. Oh.
I watched the first season. I thought it was all right, but
I stuck it out. Like I watched it, but I'm just like I got so angry at a lot of the lore that they changed. And I don't want to be that fan, but I'm gonna be that fan. You know what I mean? Whereas like, Gordon's wife was Barbara, and I'm like, that's his daughter. And then she goes crazy and turns into like a mob leader, and then like what else? Fucking like I think Harley Quinn was in it at one point, but and then they had 2 different fucking like dudes playing the Joker, and like the way he became the Joker in that series, I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
they had all those villains in the show, and then Batman was like, what was he, 12 at the time?
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne was 12 at the time.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I can't wait to be Batman someday. And then like season 5 comes out, they're like, oh, this is the last season, by the way. You're not gonna see this kid become Batman because he's still a child. So it's like we gotta typecast another person. Same thing for the girl who played Selena Kyle. They had to find someone who looked almost like her to play adult Selena Kyle. So I was like, that sucks. I feel bad. You know what I mean? But like, it is what it is. You know, they're like, yeah, we got to finish the show properly. So here you go. But man, that bat suit was ugly as fuck in the final episode. I don't know.
Like I said, I never got past the first season. I didn't even know that the bat suit appeared.
It showed up like the last 3 seconds of the show. Like, you know, the signal goes up in the sky and Gordon and everybody look up and then you just see a dark figure at the top of a fucking building and then it zooms in on the face and that cowl was just horrible. Anyway, getting off that dumpster fire of a fucking TV show. You know, and getting back to the good stuff about the Batman. You know, I talked about his isolation, like diving into. I loved the noir style of this movie, where it was just very, like, you know, grunty or gringy or whatever, like grungy, like detective style. Like, you know, he has like a diary. Like it opens up, he's like, the city's a plague. You know, this and I've
similar to like those private investigation movies,
right?
There's always an opening monologue by the private eye,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like talking about like I've become like what? How did he phrase it? He was like I become an animal or something like that of the night or something.
I am the shadows.
Yeah, or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, it's just him roaming the streets in like a hoodie and like eye makeup and stuff and just like, you know, walking like he's basically like half dressed up already in his bat suit, but you don't see it. And he's just walking around in the rain and shit, just explaining what's been going on, this, that, and the other. And then, like, it comes back, he's in the Batcave, and he just closed the book, and the book says Gotham Project or something like that. And it's just a diary of everything he's been doing.
Me, or was just there an awful lot of rain in the movie?
Well, it's Gotham. Gotham's supposed to be a shithole, you know? Like, it's supposed to be miserable, you know? Like, it's not like Metropolis where it's like, hey, look, up in the sky, it's Superman, and it's a bright, sunny day. You go to Gotham, and you just want to die. Like, you go to Gotham to die or get beat the fuck out of by fucking Batman. But anyway, it was every fucking scene. There was... Everyone was just so wet, covered in rain. Like,
whoa, I bet they were.
But I don't really. I mean, do you have anything else to add, like spoiler free-ish? Because like I'm trying to like, because I went and saw the movie on Thursday, because I was out of work, and you know, I was just like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna go to an early ass showing, and I did, and I was just like, whoa, you know. So like trying to think back to Thursday about some stuff that's like not really spoiler-ish.
Well, what I do have to say is, I really didn't know too much about it going in. Like, I didn't read up on it. I only saw the trailers. The casting, I was really surprised with who they cast for some people. Like, I had no idea Andy Serkis was playing Alfred.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I had no clue. The only people I knew were Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz were the only two that I knew. And Jeffrey Wright. I like that dude from whatever that show on HBO was called.
Yeah, he plays the Beyonder, or not the Beyonder, or the Watcher in What If. He voiced it, and then he also did a voice for Neil Gaiman's The Sandman Part 2 audiobook. He's a very good actor, very talented. I thought he did an amazing job as Gordon.
Westworld, that's what it's called.
Oh, he did voice Batman for audio thing on HBO Max. That's right. I do remember that.
Batman, interesting.
Yeah, there's an HBO style podcast. It's like an old radio show style. Where it's like kind of campy-ish Batman a little bit, like, but it's kind of dark at the same time, and he voiced Batman in that. I thought it was really good. But he plays Gordon in this movie, and I thought he did a really good job. Zoe Kravitz was born to play Catwoman. Hands down.
She was a good Catwoman. It took me to the end of the movie to realize that the Penguin was Colin Farrell.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought we talked about this while streaming or whatever. Yeah, no, Colin Farrell was unrecognizable as the Penguin, and on top of it, his accent. He's worked with dialect accents or teachers or whatever for a while. Because I watched him on Hot Ones this past week, and he was talking about it. And as soon as he popped up on screen between the fucking prosthetic makeup and the accent, you wouldn't even know it was fucking Colin Farrell at all. Like, he was awesome as the Penguin.
Yeah, they're getting really good at that stuff.
Oh my god, he's such an amazing actor.
Paul Dano.
Oh, Wow.
His performance was like up there with like Heath Ledger's Joker, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, like basically, Matt Reeves took a lot of inspiration from the Zodiac Killer for the Riddler in this movie. Which is very clear to see. I mean, like with the way he left like codes and riddles and stuff like that for the police and especially Batman to like figure out, it was very much set up like something the Zodiac Killer would do. And I
felt like Saw, like what is it, Jigsaw?
Oh yeah, for that one thing with which we'll talk about spoilers, but that was very wow. And then like also we're talking about like modern day, like the movie takes place in modern day, like he was live streaming a lot of shit too, and I was like, oh okay, yeah, this is definitely modern day because there was no live streaming back in the 90s. So but yeah, no, Paul Dano was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I bet he was using the same social media that they used for the insurrection.
Oh my God. Let's not talk about that. Oh God, I'm so glad a lot of those people are arrested and behind bars now. Lock them up. Anyway, especially the leader. Anyway, is there anything? What's that?
That's just so you no comment.
I don't care. Fuck Trump. Anyway, anything else you want to add before we get into spoilers?
I'll just say let's get into it.
All right, so let's just say right now, Gotham gets fucked. Okay, like bent over, fucked. Apparently, this was something taken from the comics too. I forget which one because I just saw it today. The Riddler did do this in the comic books at one point. He in the movie he sets up 6 vans full of explosives all by the water line or whatever for Gotham City, and then at the end where he thought, Batman thought he won, clearly didn't. The Riddler sets off these explosives.
I thought the movie was ending.
Yeah, I thought it was too. And that's another thing with this movie. Like, you think it's over and it's not.
It's like, yes, I could go to the bathroom now. Nope.
Nope.
Here's another 30 minutes worth of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The bombs go off and then Gotham is immediately flooded with water everywhere. So, and Paul Dano was like, his Riddler was like, he knew who Bruce was immediately. He was like, yeah, I know you're Batman. Like, we're both orphans. We can stay here in Arkham together. We're gonna be safe here. And he's like, what did you do?
Did he know it was Bruce Wayne at that point? Because I thought he was talking about, at first, that's what it made it seem like, that he knew Batman was Bruce. But then he said, oh, and we missed him. Like, he talked about him like he wasn't there. Like, we couldn't get Bruce.
Oh, I must have missed that part then because
then you see Batman's face, like a look of relief when he said that.
I must have missed that then because he did send a letter to Bruce's house with the explosive that spoiler alert, Alfred got.
Yeah, it's like why not try to kill him as Batman?
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, oh shit, like he knows he's Batman, but maybe he doesn't. I don't know, but that was just one thing where Riddler definitely won at the end of the movie. Like, dude, did he really save Gotham? Maybe the public likes him more because at the end of the movie, he did save a lot of people, but Gotham was still under 6 feet of water.
I mean, when he was trying to, when he did that really crazy jump to that hanging electrical wire, and he falls into the water, and he's trying to help the people get
out
to safety, and everyone just looks at him like with his hand out.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally, I think it was the mayor was the first one.
Yeah, no, the kid was first.
Oh,
and then
the kid,
then the mayor was next. But then like that one scene where he's up on the roof, and he's carrying this girl onto like the gurney that was being helicoptered out or whatever. She was holding on to him like, please don't let me go. And then he was like reassuring her it's gonna be okay. Mm-hmm. And that's when he was like, I used to think that I was this monster that had to install fear or whatever into my enemies, but now I'm starting to learn that I'm a symbol of hope too. Like I don't have to be this menace or whatever. So his view on how he had to be as Batman was, of course, be fear in the eyes of your enemy, but also have some
vengeance.
Vengeance, but also be a symbol of hope too for people that you're fighting for. So, and that's what he knew at the end of the movie. But let's talk about something really cool here. Is Batman's family revealed, like the ties with like the Falcone family, like what happened with his mother and stuff. Like, you know,
is that a thing? Is that a comic book thing?
In some stories it has been. I don't have them in front of me, but there has been different iterations of the Batman mythos where, like, say for instance, like I'm playing through the Telltale series right now, and the Waynes have ties with the mob in that game.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one thing. But I know in some versions of the comic books it's happened. I just don't know off the top of my head which ones they are. But so basically in this movie, you know, we get a little nod to Flashpoint with Martha Wayne being crazy. That happened in the Flashpoint comic where Bruce died instead of his parents dying. And Martha went insane and turned into the Joker, and then Thomas became Batman, but he was a fucking spiteful, gunslinging Batman version. Okay. Like, so yeah,
Batman variant.
Yeah. So that was that. But like in this movie, like Martha was crazy. We didn't see why, but she had a lot of mental health issues, and she was instituted, I think, for a little while at Arkham.
Who did she ended up killing? Didn't she kill somebody?
God, I don't remember. Like I said, I've seen this movie days ago. The son, I don't remember. But, you know, and the Arkham family were friends with the Waynes. So they were trying to, like, scrub all this. But, like, apparently word got to the press that, because Thomas was running for mayor in this movie, and word got to the press that his wife was crazy and they were going to spill all this to, like, ruin his campaign. So Thomas went to Carmine Falcone. He's like, hey, can you take care of this? And Carmine, you know, fucking murdered the journalist. And he had somebody murder him.
He definitely took care of it.
Just to get Thomas Wayne in his pocket. But then when Thomas found out, he was trying to get out of it. And then because of that, Carmine had his family killed. So, but then he tried spinning it when Bruce found out about it. He tried spinning it that Salvatore Maroni was the reason why his parents were dead, and not Carmine, but that was all bullshit. And Alfred cleared that up for him in the movie. So, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on all that?
Well, when Andy Serkis, or Alfred, actually, let's use his...
I thought he was a very good Alfred. I love their relationship because, like, obviously, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like his relationship with Bruce was, you know, I care about you. You need to know that there are still people that care about you and love you. And you know, Robert / Bruce is like, fuck you and fuck everybody. Like, you know,
you're not my father. Thing.
You're not my father.
Is your father, kind of.
Yeah. But,
and then when Alfred intercepts the package for Bruce and the bomb, you know, explodes, and I'm just like, oh no, don't tell me Alfred's gonna die.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I'm like, no.
No way. And then you find out that, like, did Alfred train Bruce?
I guess so. They didn't go into like a whole lot of detail of it, but he did say that he trained him how to fight. But I mean, come on.
All they said was about Alfred's past was that he was in the circus when he was filling out the cipher.
Yeah,
he said something about his days in the circus.
That must have been a twist because, like, you know, like I don't remember that. I just know a lot of lore was that Alfred was like a former like British spy or something like that.
Yeah, I remember in Dark Knight they mentioned that.
Yeah.
But what was I saying now?
We were talking about Alfred or something about yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, no, that's that. Just that whole entire arc with Alfred and Bruce was very. I felt it. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, oh, he's gonna die and they're on bad terms. Oh no. But then, you know, he came to the realization that, like, oh yeah, he kind of, like, you know, he is my family. You know, Bruce wouldn't be where Bruce is right now if it wasn't for Alfred.
Yeah, exactly.
Where would he have ended up? You know, being an orphan.
Yeah.
If Alfred wasn't there for him.
Of course, and like I love how they reconciled, like, before the climax in the movie. Like, Alfred finally woke up in the hospital and Bruce is there, but Bruce like scorned him. He was like, "Why didn't you tell me about my parents' involvement? Like, what am I doing all this for?" And they're with the mob. And then he's like, "How?"
We're on that topic.
Yeah, and he's like, "How dare you think that your parents would do this? Blah blah blah. This is actually what happened." And then he told him, and Bruce is like, "Fuck, I'm an asshole."
Yeah,
like, you know, like, But I hope Andy Serkis does come back. I don't know if he has signed on for more, but I would love to see more of his Alfred. Andy Serkis can do no wrong. I mean, like, he's an amazing mocap actor, voice actor, and just plain old actor. I mean, I just saw recently he was on Colbert recently, and during the pandemic, he did an audiobook for the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I gotta find it because like
was it just him talking, or did he do
it's
different
just him.
accents?
It's just him reading the books, and then he tried to mimic all of his co-stars' accents and stuff, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
So I thought I have to check that. Dude, I loved it when he was on Colbert years ago, and he was reading Donald Trump tweets in Gollum's voice. It was. Have you seen it?
No.
I will send it to you. It is fucking amazing. Yeah, that's kerfuffle. What's kerfuffle, precious? You know, or kerfuffle. That's what it was.
Kerfuffle.
Yes. It's so good. If anyone listening has not seen Andy Serkis read Donald Trump tweets in the voice of Gollum, you need to look it up. It's so fucking good. But anyway, getting off Andy Serkis a little bit. Let's talk about Paul Dano as the Riddler more. So I loved, like, from head to toe, like, he looked exactly like a version of the Zodiac Killer, but like
what was that mask?
It was almost like a dominatrix style mask.
Mask is exactly what came to mind. Like, where's the zipper?
Yeah, exactly. But he came up with the whole saran wrap shit on the head, and I was like, I didn't realize until later, because I thought he saran wrapped his whole head, and I'm like, how the fuck is he working like that? But he was on Jimmy Fallon last week explaining it, and he said the first day shooting, like, he just wrapped like his hair up, and he said, oh yeah, like a killer like that would probably do that to like avoid leaving like hair follicles and evidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering, because you see that in like the live stream, you see all the comments from his followers.
Bring cling wrap and stuff.
Don't forget the cling wrap. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you see one of them gets unmasked, and you see the saran wrap around his hair.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like, is that some type of weird like tinfoil hat thing?
Yeah.
That makes sense now. Yeah.
So like he came up with that idea for the suit himself, and then he immediately regretted it the first day of shooting.
Oh, yeah, it must have been so uncomfortable.
Because he was like, I was sweating so much under there, but I didn't want to get. And he was getting like headaches and like dizzy spells and stuff. So he was like, he toughed it out for the first day, but then like by the second day, he said they poked holes in the saran wrap. So he's like, okay, my head can finally breathe. So he was like, word of advice to cosplayers out there: if you're going to dress up like this, be careful. But I really thought his Riddler was very good. I love true crime. Like, you know, I don't love what happens to people, you know, obviously, because a lot of these are true cases, but like, I loved his version of the Riddler because it donned and gave a nod so much to the Zodiac Killer, even though the Zodiac Killer is a fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? But like,
when he was screaming,
he was like, terrifying.
Yeah, it gave my back chills. Like, whoa.
Or he was like in the jail, like moaning. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that guy was definitely insane. Like,
yeah. Let's talk about his cellmate in the next room over. Who was?
Oh, really? Cellmate, you say?
Yeah, cellmate. Spoiler alert: it's the Joker. We don't see his face, but what was his name? He was in the Eternals.
Yes, he was also in one of the Fantastic Beasts movies. I forget.
Yeah, let me look that up real quick. But yeah, he was in the Eternals. I forget.
He was the one that could control people.
Yeah, with their minds. His name was. Give me 1 second. Ba-da-ba-da-da. Where the fuck are you?
And I think they credited
Barry Keoghan.
Okay, I never would have been able to remember that.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but he plays the Joker in this version of Batman.
They hit it pretty well because on IMDb, I think it was credited as random cellmate or whatever.
Right. Well, they didn't want to give it away, obviously.
Of course, yeah. I'm just saying they did a good job hiding it.
Yeah, of course. He was like he gave the Riddler a riddle, and the answer was a friend, and like Riddler's like a friend, and he's like yes.
Possible team up movie in the future.
I was like ooh, but if we're talking about like sequels, before we talk about any more people in this movie, like we've already talked about Colin Farrell, we could talk a little bit more about Catwoman, but as far as like sequels go, like I have a little bit right here. Like Robert Pattinson is signed on for 2 more movies, obviously. Because it's supposed to be a trilogy. I don't know if they're going to do more after this. I really hope they do, but who knows?
Oh, it's supposed to be a trilogy?
Yes.
Okay.
Matt Reeves is teasing Mr. Freeze for the next one. But Robert Pattinson wants to do something about like the Court of Owls, which would be dope.
I just watched a Screen Rant video about that last night. Yeah.
I think that would be very... Yeah.
So that was very interesting, Court of Owls. I might actually look into them and see if I get like the comic book thing that they're from.
Right. So it's basically like the wealthy and powerful of Gotham all being in like a secret cult and controlling everything in Gotham under like Gotham's
Illuminati.
Nose. Exactly. So that's basically what the Court of Owls was. So I would love to see that. I think that would be dope. Of course, we talked about Joker.
Owls eat bats.
Yeah. And then another rumor that's been speculating was that the second movie might be like Arkham Asylum.
Okay, yeah, because they're in the asylum right now.
I would love to see that, like a live action, like being locked down in Arkham Asylum with like the worst of the worst. You know what I mean?
Did you play the video game?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I didn't, but I heard it was amazing.
That whole series is amazing. You really should get it. It's honestly like
gotta be on Game Pass or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, have you played Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, for PS4. Yeah, it's they took that fighting style from Batman Arkham, so it's basically the same premise. So, if anyone out there has never played the Arkham series, do it. It's such a great game franchise. There's 3 of them. There's Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. But yeah, now let's talk a little bit more about Zoe Kravitz a little bit and her Catwoman.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah. Daughter of Lenny Kravitz. She's an actress. She's awesome. I don't really know a whole lot of her work. I didn't really know a whole lot about her until she got this role.
She was in, I've seen a few things she's been in. Divergent. She's in Mad Max Fury Road.
That's probably why I never saw it.
Yeah. She's actually Lisa Bonet's kid from her first marriage before Jason Momoa. Lisa Bonet is, she played one of the daughters on The Cosby Show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And now, they just broke up, but I think they got back together, Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I did see that, yeah. So I know they're close, because I see pictures of him and her all the time together. But yeah, no, like, her Catwoman was amazing. So, like, her whole story in this was that her friend died, or I don't know if she was, I think they established she was bisexual in this universe. Because, I thought it was her friend, but she kept calling her baby. So I was like, well, maybe it was her girlfriend. And
maybe that's just how she talks to people. Who knows? Doesn't matter.
Who knows? I'm not. Cool. Cool if or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whatever. I'm not judging. I mean like
Peacemaker's bisexual.
I did know that. Yes. After the series, I was like, okay, cool. But Catwoman was looking to find who killed her friend, and she ended up meeting up with Batman in the Iceberg Lounge. Which was, this underground nightclub, but apparently there's another underground club below that are for like the wealthy and the powerful, like judges and DAs and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Super club, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but she was working there, and I guess her friend found out some shit, like who a rat was or something like that. That was another thing that happened. Like somebody ratted out Falcone or somebody like that, and she wound up dead. And Batman ended up in the Iceberg Lounge, was talking to Penguin, and then she walked in. That's how they met up, and then they ended up intertwining. I guess she was like, I need your help to find her, and it turned out that Falcone, like, straight up murdered her. Not Catwoman, her friend.
Also killed her mom.
And her mom, yep, that's right. We find out that Falcone's, daughter is, in this story is Catwoman because he slept with her mother and, whatever, but... that was a twist I didn't see coming, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then there was like a few dirty cops involved, like one of them that I guess captured her friend and brought her to Falcone or whatever. She was about straight up to like throw him off a fucking building. Batman had to save him, you know what I mean? So like, There's that love-hate, they clearly love each other, or like each other a lot because she was all over Batman's shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she was like, I'm going to fuck your brains out if you come with me. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the movie, she's like, leaving town.
She's that type of crazy.
Yeah. She's like, I'm leaving town. Why don't you come with me? He's like, no, I got to stay. I have a job to do. So,
Batman's a peeping Tom, too.
Oh,
straight up.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, he was spying on her. Yep. And
are you familiar with that meme, Batman standing out in the rain at 3:00 in the morning?
Oh, maybe if I saw it, it sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It's supposed to be him. Like, it's just a close up of him. It's a GIF, a close up of Batman from, I think it was Batman Begins. Just making a face, but it's repeated, so it looks like he's he's cranking one out, but it's raining. So it's like an inside joke on the internet. You post that picture and tagline, "This is me, 3:00 in the morning outside in the rain." I feel like that's what he was doing when he was watching.
It must be as bad as like Michael Keaton's like face that he made, and that became a GIF. Where he's like, like. Oh my God, yeah. So anyway, he ends up, they end up going their separate ways at the end of the movie, but they did catch the Riddler at the end of the movie. Gotham fucking explodes, and not really explodes, but like the walls to the river end up collapsing, and Gotham's flooded.
Everyone escapes to the stadium.
Yeah, it was like Madison Square Garden-esque, so, and then there's like
the Gotham Square Garden.
Yeah.
Honest, Gotham
so
Square
dumb.
Garden.
But like, and then there's like another fight out because like a bunch of Riddler's followers were there and they all dressed up like him. So,
and then it dawned on me because in the beginning of the movie, where you hear that, what you think is the Riddler, heavy breathing, and spying on the mayor before the mayor gets killed in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you see him inside. Like, how did he get inside if he was across the building? And then you see all these other Riddler followers, and it's like, oh, he's not the one actually killing people.
I think he was, though.
Was he? He mentioned that he wasn't the physical type. He was the mental type. So
I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch the movie again. Like I said, I've only seen it once.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it makes sense why. He's across the street looking through binoculars, and then he's inside.
That's true.
The mayor's office instantaneously.
Okay. I just want to tell the listeners right now that I've seen this movie days ago. Dave just saw this today, so like he
saw it yesterday. Actually.
I'm sorry, yesterday. So he's still got a better memory than I do, but I have notes. So
notes.
What the hell was that?
It's ASMR.
Oh, okay.
Crinkling paper.
Somebody somewhere just came. Anyway,
See, I make it weird all the time.
You only make it weird on stream. But yeah, no, like that final fight was dope as hell. Like, with the whole stadium flooding and like the fight and everything. Catwoman saving Batman.
Gets his shit broke multiple times.
Oh, I know.
Like, there's the explosion with the district attorney. Like,
yeah,
right next to his face.
Should have straight up died.
Should have killed him. And then he gets shot straight to the gut with a shotgun, like point blank.
Yep.
And then adrenaline time, and he's fine.
Yep. I was like, oh, he takes drugs. Okay, like
what is his bat suit made of?
So basically, they explained it in an interview. It was a prototype of armor that was to withstand like machine gun bullets, like, but they never specified that in the movie. So
okay,
I think that's just writers covering up plot holes. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
but that's just me. Other than that, I mean, was there anything else you wanted to add? Like, after, I mean, like clearly, like Riddler's in Arkham Asylum now with his new best friend, Mr. J. There's rumors about, either an Arkham Asylum movie coming out, either Mr. Freeze coming out, or Court of Owls. Who knows? We won't find out for another few years. Is there anything else you want to add?
I am partial to Batman and Robin, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze. He's the only Mr. Freeze for me. So if they do make a Mr. Freeze movie, he better come out with ridiculous puns.
That's just gonna ruin the movie. That is straight up gonna ruin the movie. I mean, who would you? So apparently, I just saw this today. Robert Pattinson is open to having Robin in the franchise, but it has to be a teenager. That's what he said, because to make it more, comic book accurate.
Yeah, little ward, little young child to run around with in his underwear.
I could see. I mean, like who? Like I don't really know a lot of child actors, but I mean, like I could see it. I just don't.
Why they would probably go with somebody new.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That'd be interesting to see.
Who's the youngest big name person in Hollywood right now?
I couldn't tell you.
Exactly, no clue.
Yeah, because I'm not a pedophile. So
talking about Hollywood, there's a lot of them in there.
This is Jesus Christ.
What?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why Jeffrey Epstein died, right? I mean,
he didn't kill himself.
Whatever. I hope he's in hell burning. But let's talk about the Batman just earned $249 million for its opening weekend at the global box office.
Well, didn't they start doing previews like on Tuesday?
Yeah, but so I don't know. But anyway, like this just came out today as we're recording this. It's already made almost 250 million globally. The Rotten Tomato score is certified fresh at 85%, audience score at 90%. I mean, this movie is fucking art. It's amazing. It's like my final thoughts here is like I thought this is one of the best Batman movies to date, something the franchise needed for years. It's a great detective style noir movie, which is what Batman has been all about in the comics. Again, Robert Pattinson was amazing. Zoe Kravitz was born to play Catwoman. Paul Dano was incredible as the Riddler. Colin Farrell was unrecognizable and amazing as the Penguin. Jeffrey Wright nailed it as Commissioner Gordon, and everyone should not sleep on this hit. DC finally hit it out of the park with this Batman movie, and hopefully they keep going with this.
Yeah, DC really needs to just forget about the DCEU and just start doing, singular, start branching stuff out. Like they did really good with the Joker. That's its own thing. That's getting a sequel.
I really hope they don't tie it with this franchise.
I don't hope so, though. It doesn't seem like they will because there's continuity problems.
Yeah. It's the expanded universe. It's just lazy ways of us telling the same story over and over again.
Peacemaker. Did I mention that already? Peacemaker. That was really good.
I think you did. But mention it again. Go ahead.
Peacemaker was really good.
I agree.
Do you really
want to taste it?
And I think the FBI agent played one of the random cops in this movie. I may be wrong. It just may be somebody who looks like it, but I'm just like, that looks like the FBI agent from Peacemaker.
Oh, they did have the kid who plays oh my God, Tim Drake from Titans in this movie. He played one of the Joker kids or whatever with the clown makeup. The one that like ran away from Batman. He didn't want to fuck up that guy at the beginning, but he was getting forced to. And then like Batman comes in and like
bald-headed pale dudes.
Yeah, the bald-headed pale dudes. Like the kid who plays Tim Drake in the Titans TV show was one of them, and he was getting pressured to like fuck that dude up. And then Batman comes in and beats this dude's ass. I'm vengeance, Yeah,
there's always a "I am Batman" like line in any of the Batman movies. I'm just like, well, when is it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen? And then he says, "I am vengeance." I'm like, oh, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that annoyed me a little bit. Was that like the only person that called him Batman was the Riddler, and it was in letters. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like to the Batman, But like even fucking Penguin was like, "Hey, vengeance!" I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like
vengeance. I mean, what do they call him? Like Batman's not his official name. At this point, I guess. I don't know. Like the Batman.
Yeah,
like
it was
a bat person.
Yeah, exactly. Like the only person to call him the Batman was the Riddler. So I mean, like everybody was just like, "Oh, it's this fucking creep in a fucking costume." Like, well, what's up, Vengeance? Even Catwoman. Come on, Vengeance. Oh, shut up. Like,
I was like, I have a name.
Yeah. Well, maybe he didn't have it yet. I don't know, but. Whatever. I mean, like, oh God, we were talking about Saw earlier. The way the fucking commissioner died
Yeah.
with
So
that rat
the
trap on his
yeah.
head.
Jesus.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What a way to go.
So for listeners, he had this box on his head that was very Saw movie-esque, where there was rats crawling through mazes to get to his face and just gnaw him apart. It was just, whew.
You get to see the rats coming at you and eating your face.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to die?
A while, because like your body's going into shock, of course, you know what I mean? But like
Those rats must have been starving.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, like I'm talking about another serial killer here, fucking the Iceman. Fucking that was one of his favorite ways to kill people, and he's killed a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Iceman. I'm not familiar with the Iceman.
You never heard of the Iceman?
No.
Oh my God! All right, I got to teach you, but like maybe not in this episode. But like
today.
he tortured a guy, and he thought he. I love the way this podcast put it, because like a lot of the ways he killed people was like very cartoonishly. Like he got a lot of his inspiration from like watching Looney Tunes. You know what I mean?
He put like a stick of dynamite in his mouth instead of a cigar.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it, but I mean, like, no, there was one in particular where he tortured a guy, and he stuck his body in like a fucking underground like sewer line, and he trained a bunch of rats to eat rawhide. So he would fucking like strap like rawhide to this bruised up, beaten guy who's like handcuffed, and a shit ton of rats would come out and just eat this guy alive. And then he set up a camera so he can watch it. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Fucked up, right? Yeah. Fucked up.
He watched it?
Yeah. He even fucking tortured. Okay, I'm gonna get a little gruesome here. I'm sorry, everybody. But like, there was one guy. He was because he worked for the mob, the Iceman. He went down to track the guy down to Florida. The mob basically told him like, just make him suffer, and he fucking basically tortured this guy on a beach. You know what I mean? Like he cut him open. He was ripping out his insides. He fucking grabbed his dick and ripped it off and like showed it to him. You know what I mean?
God.
And yeah, it, like brutally.
The seagulls eat him?
Yeah, and then he picked up his body and tossed it into the water, like, you know, like fucking shark infested waters and shit, and fucking just let him get eaten alive by sharks. Like.
Good way to get rid of the evidence.
Jesus fucking Christ. Like, like I told you, I'm into true crime, but like some of these are like fucking brutal, you know.
How do you sleep at night?
Me? I sleep perfectly fine.
No, I'm just saying, like, doing that type of stuff.
I don't know. You know, like something's clearly broken up there, and the only like a lot of these serial killers get off by like, you know, killing people, and it's.
I mean, that's why the Joker and the Riddler are in a insane asylum.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that's the only way they get off. Literally, is like I can't nut today, so I got to murder somebody. You know what I mean? So
They probably have tiny dicks. Too.
I'm serious, like not to get too graphic, but I mean, like there's a lot of research about why serial killers do the shit that they do, and a lot of it has to deal with sexual, you know, impotence and like stuff like that.
Well,
like they can't
say
perform.
Hitler had a micro penis.
Oh, of course, you know, and look what happened. You know, like God rest everybody that he fucking killed. I mean, like that's fucking terrible what happened, but I mean, like I'm so glad that prick died.
Putin has a small dick, probably.
Oh, I'm sure he does. And Putin, if you're out there, man, go fuck yourself, dude. Like, I am so sick of this war. My thoughts and prayers go out to the Ukrainian people. Keep on fighting. We love you. You know, and
one day you'll be able to watch no, okay.
Russia can't watch Batman.
Russia can't. Okay, I had a mental fart.
I saw a meme go out that they were getting sent Batman v Superman instead of the Batman. So. But I know it's not the Russian people's fault. It's their leader, and I really hope he gets what's coming to him. So, you know,
yeah.
And shout out to Ukraine again and their president. You are a bunch of badasses, and we love you. But I don't know. I've got nothing else to end on this. What you got? Any final thoughts before we take it out?
Well, I'm probably going to be more open to more DCU projects upcoming.
Same. I mean, like they got the Flash coming out this year, the new Aquaman. What else?
That means I just gotta bite the bullet and watch all the DC movies I haven't watched yet.
I mean, like
so many of them. I haven't. I think The only ones I've seen is Suicide Squad, which really doesn't have any effect on them,
No, the Suicide Squad was good though.
Yeah.
The James Gunn one, that was good.
And I've seen Man of Steel, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Zack Snyder's Justice League was good. His version, it was long, but it was good.
It was like 4 hours long, right?
Yeah, but it was good. It definitely made up for that garbage Josh Whedon fucking dumped on us. I'm curious about the Flash movie. I hope it doesn't suck. I'm eager to see Michael Keaton return as Batman for that one.
It just seems like they were jumping onto the Marvel train.
Yeah.
They announced that. Like, oh, you're going to have variants of other characters? Well, we're going to have variants of other characters.
Yeah. I mean, like, I really wish it just stuck with, like, Flashpoint. You know what I mean? Like, the comic book. Because that's what they were taking inspiration from for the movie. But I won't know until I see it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But anyway. I got nothing else, man. What about you?
I'm tapped.
All right. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in and listening. This was Reviews with AJ and Dave. If you guys want to hear more from me, you should check out my other podcast, The Roads We've Traveled. Episodes have started coming back out starting March 7th. It's a bi-weekly podcast. I just interview guests weekly or every episode, what they do. We talk a lot about mental health and anything in between. And I just launched a new podcast called Not Another Roundtable Podcast. Episodes are going to be coming out soon. Unfortunately, the first test episode wasn't good, mainly audio problems. But we did finally get to record a really good one tonight. So Grundy will be on another episode hopefully soon. Dave here. I keep forgetting.
It's vengeance.
It's vengeance. Definitely check out, rate and review, subscribe. They're going to be available on YouTube, and episodes are available on all major podcast networks. Check them out, and tell us what you think. And you can also check me out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights on Twitch at twitch.tv/JRBuckleGaming. I mainly just goof around with my friends and play games, including Dave here, aka Grundy, aka Vengeance. So, Dave, you got anything?
I'll probably make a Instagram one of these days. not today.
Sounds good.
Maybe I'll start posting. Maybe.
If there's anything else you guys want to hear from us or hear us talk about, maybe we can dip into other things besides just movies and like review them. I'd be down for that. Hit me up at roadswe've-traveled-podcast@gmail.com. I'll set up an email for this one eventually. Or just, tune into the Twitch channel when Dave and I are playing together and just let us know in the comments, and we'll definitely look into it. But other than that, I hope you guys are doing well. Again, Ukraine, if you're listening, we love you. We hope you're doing well, and please keep fighting, and stay safe out there. And Putin, go fuck yourself.
Putin. Putting his dick in your mouth.
Fuck that. I'm going to be putting my dick in his mouth. All right, goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
This has been an MPGN production. Music, podcast, and gaming network.